Hi guys, and welcome back to the Cassie Projects. It is 2025! This week's video, we are going to be working on a brand new sketchbook. And the reason I'm doing that is because I actually finished a sketchbook. Woo! So we get to start a brand new one today. And also we have received a bunch of goodies from Ohuhu. I have always wanted to work with Ohuhu and they approached me and I was so excited to work with them. So yeah, we've got a bunch of goodies to play with. Let's jump straight into it. First up, they sent me a bunch of fine liners. This comes in 8 different sizes, which really excited me because I am always looking for a decent fine liner. You'll probably always see me using my Unipin fine liner in 0.8. And the reason I use this is because I always struggle to find a smaller nibbed fine liner. They always dry out, which I find so frustrating. I always use that 0.8 because it stays nice and juicy. Fingers crossed we'll be able to find a pen that I absolutely love today. I also received a marker pad and it's got 60 sheets in there and it's just slightly smaller than an A4 notebook. We've got 150 GSM paper, which is a nice weight to it, and hopefully we won't get bleed through, I'm guessing, as this is created especially for alcohol markers. I quite like the simplicity of the front cover. We could actually decorate that ourselves, and I decided that instead of working on the first page, because I'm a little bit nervous, I thought I would go in onto the second page and do some swatching. Now, we don't want the swatch page to be boring, so I've come up with a cute little design to make this page look a little bit more nicer than just a bunch of swatches on a page. We've got some pens at the bottom and that's going to show the flow of the ink, and then I decided to actually illustrate the pens in basically in real size. So one side of the pen is a brush tip, which I'm very much used to, whereas the other side of the pen has a chiseled nib. It's a much broader, wider nib, which is really useful for filling in large amounts of space. So I wanted to illustrate both of those sides of the pen on this swatch page. We also got given these swatch pages, so I'm actually going to use those still and I'm going to stick those in the book. But obviously this page looks a lot more interesting now, so I didn't mind sticking those in. I also decided last minute to pop in the fine line nibs, so I wanted to show all the different sizes of those fine liners because I thought that would be really handy to look back at. Let's have a little look at these gorgeous pens. So included in here is 72 vibrant colours and 1 colourless blender. And oh my gosh, look at the amount of pens in this case. I couldn't believe it. I'm so honoured to receive such a beautiful set of markers. We've got the little swatch card, we've got a little brochure with all the information about the pens, and we've also got a little sheet which helps protect the page when we're using it. These are double-sided, so we've got a brush nib and we've also got a broad nib. This is going to come in super handy because you can do all that detailed work, but you can also go in with that broad nib and fill a lot of space. Now, I'm a little bit weird because I really enjoy tedious, repetitive things. So I actually had so much fun doing this. I spent like an hour colouring in these little rectangles, but oh, it's so satisfying getting all those colours on the page and being able to see them in real life. And look at the amount of colour. It's just so pretty. Now, I am very much a novice with alcohol markers. I don't know much about them. I've got a handful of alcohol markers. I don't even know what brand they are, but I've got such limited colours that I've never really used them. My daughter, however, has got a couple of Ohuhu sets and she adores them. She uses them all the time for most of her drawings. So yeah, I've been really looking forward to using them myself and having a good play around with them. The plan today is to literally play with these markers. I've got a bunch of sketchbook ideas. It's going to be really nice to use them over the course of like 5 different pages to see if I actually like them or not, and see if it's a art supply that I will genuinely use. So I am using the Ohuhu Honolulu. I always find it funny to say Ohuhu anyway, so to have to say Ohuhu I'm going to have to try and hold it together. I'm going to be using the Ohuhu Honolulu alcohol-based markers. Let's start with a little sketch of a paintbrush. This paintbrush is going to paint this big swirl on this page, which is going to be filled with leaves. So I got out my 0.3 fine liner, which is a very fine liner compared to what I'm used to. It's just going to give a much more of a sketchy feel because I can do multiple lines. I can be a bit messy with it, and I haven't done this for ages because I've been using a much thicker fine liner. Now I'm moving back to my super handy swatch page, and I am picking the colours that I want for this page. I am going with a very muted kind of green, sagey green pastel-y palette. Obviously we've got the brown and the silver for the paintbrush, and I'm going to do some tan bristles as well. And already, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Now basically, to me, these are like felt tips. The kind of felt tips that you use at school, yeah? And all of a sudden, my mind is just blown because they blend like paint. It just doesn't make sense how you can colour with like a felt tip marker, but it blends so beautifully, and it layers. It layers as well. Honestly, my mind was blown. This is so much fun, and it's like got such a smoothness to it. It feels so good, and I really enjoyed doing this. I added that grey around the edge and then blended the green into it, and it blended in, and I'm going to be brave and I'm going to move on to the very first page of this sketchbook. I wanted to do the swatch page on the second page because I was a little bit nervous. So now my creative juices are flowing. We can now move on to the first page, and I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Okay, so the next idea that I had was to do a cute little pot of cactus friends. So I'm going in with that nice fine liner again, and I decided to add little cheeky smiles to some of the cactuses. I'm adding some spikes. The one on the left looks a bit like a hairy leg. But I'm hoping with the colour it will, work. So yeah, I'm going in with all these different greens, and I'm adding that shading in there, and it just blends into one another so beautifully. I'm just so in love. I even got this dark green, and then I kept using my lighter green to blend that into each other like I would with an acrylic marker, like paint, and I could add all this shading in. It just looks so pretty. And what's really nice is that you can add lots of colour, but the brush strokes disappear, it all blends into one another. Oh, it's very delicious. This one needs to be a stick out. I absolutely adore it. I know you guys are going to love it as well. So head on over to the cassieprojects.co.uk to find the Cactus Friends stick out, which is available now. For the next idea, I decided to draw a door, and I thought that this would be lovely as a round door, just like a little hobbit house, because they're just so darn cute. So I added the line work using my super fine liner, and I decided to add bricks around the edge of the door and some larger bricks to the outside wall. I decided to go for this lovely emerald green for the door, and I'm going in with a grey colour for the bricks surrounding that door. Now I wanted to add lots of texture to those bricks and make them look a bit old and raggedy, so I added some darker greys in there and did lots of line work and added all the shading, and I thought that just gave them a little bit more character. I'm going in with a yellowy tan colour for the wall, and I thought that would really contrast against that green door, adding some darker brown to those rectangular bricks, and of course I'm adding a bit of shading around that door to just give it a little bit more life. I added a browned ground. What did I just say? What was that? I meant the ground is brown. I paint the floor. I made the floor brown. So I decided I wanted to add some gold hinges to this. I just weren't keen on the black, and so I got out my Artex marker and I coloured that over with gold, and I just think it looks so much better with those gold accessories. Now, I've got to interrupt real quick because the mailman just came and I've been dying to open this. I put in an order with Christine from Courageous Painting and I absolutely adore her. She's a dear friend of mine. She's created the cutest products I've ever seen in my life. So let's unbox it together. So I'm going to move you here to have a little look at this so you can see from the top camera as well. Oh my gosh. So this is one of her paintings. Oh, that's so pretty. So this is what I ordered, which I'm so excited to show you. But she's also sent me a bunch of goodies as well, which is so adorable. Let's have a little look in this envelope. Oh, look at these stickers. They're stunning. And the backing card. Christine does a lot of like mindfulness sketchbook art, so it's things to help you with your anxiety and frustration, and she does simple ideas for you to do to help deal with these things, which I think is fantastic. And these stickers really show the type of channel that she has. But what I've been looking forward to is this. Just look at that. That is just the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Look inside. Oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna cry. It's so cute. Oh, it's so tiny. It's so tiny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she sells miniature versions of all her paintings, and they're all in this tiny little envelope. And I couldn't contain my excitement. So yeah, I had to get it. Thank you so much, Christine, for sending me these beautiful things. I am honoured. Oh, this many paintings in my hand is just glorious. Let's do something super simple for this one. So we're starting with a stem and we're creating this starburst shape that comes off it with some few that are just flying around. And then to the end of those lines, you want to add this kind of spidery shape. Which is a little bit creepy now I look at it like that. And that is creating this lovely dandelion. Now again, keeping it simple, I'm just using a grey alcohol marker. I'm going around the whole of that shape, kind of keeping this circular motion, and then I'm darkening up the inner parts, and then I decided to darken up around those little spider shapes as well to create this gorgeous flowing dandelion. I absolutely love this one. I love how simple it is. I love that we just used one fine liner and one colour, and it's got so much movement to it. I just think it's fantastic. Finally, I wanted to do a Zentangle for the last idea for this sketchbook video. The reason being is because I wanted to see how the Ohuhu marker would hold up as a colouring pen, just a simple colouring pen. I created this as super elaborate Zentangle. I just went with the flow to see what would come out of my brain. Let me know in the comments what you see, because I see a couple of things. I see monster like tentacles reaching out from the bottom of the page. I also see like coral underneath the ocean. So these are like the weird little plants that are sat on the bottom of the sea. Maybe you don't see anything at all. Maybe you just see a bunch of shapes, and maybe I'm just a little bit mental. Oh, it just comes out sometimes, doesn't it? So I just added so much colour to this page. I literally just picked out whatever I wanted out of the set of colours, and yeah, I threw as much colour on this page as possible. Now, I absolutely loved using the alcohol marker as a colouring in pen because you don't get those ugly brush strokes when you're doing like a large amount of space. It just like blends into one another, and you can go over other colours and it doesn't ruin it, and they just blend into each other. Oh, yeah, I definitely recommend it as a colouring in pen. Oh, wow, these pens are just gorgeous. I mean, I am a beginner, so I don't know much about alcohol markers, but these were so beautiful to play with. I had so much fun with them, and I would definitely be using them again. The sketchbook was stunning. There was absolutely no bleed through from the pages. I didn't even need to add that plastic sheet in there. And the paper is so smooth. It's beautiful, and it works so nicely with these pens. Now, the fine liners, only time can tell. I mean, you'll just have to continue watching my videos. If I grab them all the time, then I probably really love them. If I go back to my Unipin fine liner, then I obviously haven't found the one. But so far, far so good. I really enjoyed using them in this book, and they held up perfectly underneath the acrylic markers. So far so good. So there you go. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the drawings that I did today, and I hope that it's inspired you guys to get creative as well. Do carry on watching some more videos over here. I will pop in a binge-worthy playlist for you guys to enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.